Welcome to some of the basic Inspire 1 Autopilot Autoflight logic testing. As you can see here, introducing our first manoeuvre, it's the basic follow me test, and it's doing exactly what I'm saying, following me along the field. As you can see, the craft is positioning itself around me. In a second I'm going to stop and head back the other direction, which I'm doing right now. Not only does the craft manoeuvre around, but also the gimbal aligns itself perfectly with myself as well, using the GPS coordinates from the iPhone 6s that's currently being used as the control app system. Our next mode is the orbit mode test. This is a fairly common feature and used by DJI in their own Go app as well. A little bit more enhanced this. I've got to say, I've used the DJI system. It works very well, but it does end up with a fairly elliptical circle when you try and use it, whereas this seems to be a lot more precise. Gives you better control on the tracking parameters within the app itself, a little bit more complicated to use. But all in all, gives very good results. As you can see here, this is a fairly slow track around us. It's one of two circles and only one being shown here. Okay, we're back to Follow Me Mode Test 2 now. This is a piece of footage shot with me running up the track, as you can see, heading towards the corner. When I get to the corner, what I asked the craft to do was position itself around the back of me and then follow me across the field again. And it did this with great success. You'll see as I go heading up towards the corner, a little bit slowly. When I get to the corner, the craft will begin to pan itself around behind me, again giving very good stability and frame positioning of both subject me and also the way it implements the smooth pan around the back of me. Particularly like this feature with this follow me mode. It works very well, not only for objects that are moving quite slowly like myself, but also you'll see later on when we track a vehicle with it, it works very well as well. So over the footbridge now, back into the field. As you see, as described, the copter will now position itself around the back of me and then start closing back in onto myself as I head back towards the area. Okay, follow me test from the vehicle this time around. Up the track we go. It's a Volkswagen Golf. You can see the black car in the middle of the frame. This was conducted at various different speeds. We did try and catch the copter out a couple of times by slowing down, like we're doing now, and then speeding back up again. But it has to be said that the camera, the gimbal mechanism, kept it very well in frame. If you were trying to do this yourself with maybe a two-man operating crew, I think you would have many takes before you even got close to the quality that has been represented here in the footage. And you can see the car is kept very nicely in frame throughout pretty much the whole duration. As we got closing up to this the end of the track, we got a turnaround position just coming up now into frame. The craft did hesitate a little bit, but it did deal with this very well. A little bit unsuspected as the car was positioning round to go back the other direction. It was deciding exactly what it's going to do. So you can see now it's beginning to pan around the back of the car. It's now realised that we're reversing, so itself is backing backwards. So we're confusing it a little bit there within that manoeuvre, but as I say, it did deal with this very well. What it did now, it swept around the back of the car like you saw before, but instead of closing up onto the back of the vehicle, it kind of cut the corner off. And as you see now, as the car disappears behind the tree, it now gathers a massive amount of speed to catch the subject of the car back up. And it then kind of just hangs around the near side quarter of the car. Lovely shot actually, as it's panning across sideways, flying itself sideways, positioning around the car. It then goes back around the back of the car, and as we head down towards the last corner, it then follows the track of the track. So again, we're really impressed with the footage we've got here. So last corner now, it has to be said that this is the very first time we've ever tried this. It is massively safe putting your Inspire in the hands of this bit of software, but I can only praise it. It works very well. It's very easy to get the craft in and out of it. It's on-screen controls are very, very simplistic, and it's a great piece of software to use.